Hey guys, so today I have swatches of the China Glaze OMG collection. This is a re-release of a 2008 holographic collection that China Glaze came out with that was wildly popular. So there are 6 polishes here altogether. These are popping up around the internet, so I will get right into the swatches. So the first polish is OMG, and this is just the silver holographic. This is the only one that I have the 2008 original of. The bottle's a little bit beat up because it's old, but here they are next to each other. You can see they're not exactly the same. You can actually look right in the bottle, see how the bubble is moving here in the older one, and see that the older one is so much thinner in formula. The other big difference, I guess not huge, but the caps are different. I love these sweet holographic caps that China Glaze put on the new ones compared to just the silver. As far as actual swatches go to compare the two, I do have, this is the original 2008 formula and this is the new 2018 formula. They look pretty close. The biggest difference that I can see, one, the 2008 formula is a lot thinner, takes more coats to build up, and it looks a little bit more scattered and slightly less linear than this new one here. So I'm assuming, and it's just like a wild assumption, but I would assume that that's kind of the same across the board if I were to have all 6 of the originals to compare. I think as far as holographic effect goes and formula and everything, I do prefer the newer ones. So this is still a little bit sheer on that first coat, but like I said, not nearly as thin as the older ones used to be. There are some brush strokes here, but those do go away as it dries. Formula is good on this one, not too thick, not too thin. These are the kind of polishes though that you don't want to overwork because you can create like gaps and bald spots. You can pull some of the polish that you've already applied off if you go over the same spot too many times. So this does cover completely in 2 coats. You can see that holographic gets so much stronger and smoother once this is completely dry. I was definitely a little bit nervous about these the first time that I put them on and I saw what they looked like wet. I was a little concerned, but once they're fully dry, they look great. And they don't really dry dull at all either. So that is 2 coats of OMG. The next polish is Tonight, and this is a blue holographic. So this one covers really well on that first coat. Again, I do have a little tiny bit of nail line. I say again, I filmed like 3 videos today. They're all blending together. I do have a little bit of nail line, so I am going to do a second. But this is super opaque. The formula on this one is a little bit thicker than the silver. Not so thick that it's bad, but I feel like it's right on the line. I'm trying to take a little bit of polish off of the nails and off of the brush a bit so I don't have so much on my nail. I definitely think you could get away with 1 coat of this one if you really wanted to. So I'm adding a second coat to this just to see if it changes the color at all, because looking at it after it dried, there was like no nail line at all. I really don't think it needed a second coat for coverage. And this one, they all do, dries fairly shiny as well. I'm not sure. I feel like maybe it got a little bit deeper. So that is 2 coats of Tonight. The next polish is called TTYL, and this is a kind of rusty orange holographic. This one also covers really, really well on that first coat. I think there's a lot of candidates for 1-coaters in here, because I can't really see any nail line here at all either. The formula on this one is good. It definitely doesn't feel as thick as the last one did, so this is a bit easier to work with. So this is another one that I really don't think needs the second coat for coverage, but kind of for color. See, the color gets just a little bit darker. And this one also seems to dry a little bit dull. I got a bit distracted and it had more time to dry down than the other ones have, so I'm thinking they'll probably all dry a little bit dull and not as shiny as I previously thought. So that is 2 coats of TTYL. The next polish is called IDK, and this is the purple holographic of the bunch. So this one is a bit sheer on that first coat. Really not terrible, just like compared to the last 2 that have covered completely. I can just see a little bit of nail line. Good formula on this one as well. So this one does cover completely in 2 coats, and that second coat does deepen the color quite a bit. This is one of those polishes that you have a lot on your brush when you first pull the brush out, so you want to be really careful to wipe off one side of the brush and maybe even wipe a little bit of the stem off as well. Because maybe this is just me, but I always get surprised by the drip down the stem once I'm like 2 or 3 nails in. So that is 2 coats of IDK. The next polish is called BFF, and this is a deeper pink holographic. So this one also covers really well on that first coat. It's really not sheer at all, but I'm going to do a second just to see if I can get a different color. I do really wish I had some of the colored ones to compare as well, so I could actually compare the shades, because like silver is silver, so I can really only compare the finish there. And good formula on this one as well. So this one definitely didn't need a second coat for coverage, but I do want to see if it changes the color a little bit, because I did do 2 coats for all my pictures. And I do feel like it makes the color just a little bit darker, but that might also be because it's still wet and that holographic hasn't come out as strong as it will when it's dry, because after that comes out all the way, I do feel like it brightens the polish a little bit. So that is 2 coats of BFF. And the last polish is called Deviate, and this is a kind of like aqua blue holographic. And this one is also super opaque on the first coat. Like no nail line, no streaks at all. Again, I'm going to do 2 just because I feel like I should today. On another day, I might just want to like hurry up and finish the video, and I would just call these all 1 coaters because they basically are, but I just feel like I need to do 2 coats. I'm getting a ton of polish on my nail. I'm trying to kind of thin it out here. Formula on this one is good. It's on the thicker side, just like the other blue was actually. So far, the 2 blues have been the ones that have been a little bit almost too thick. So this is probably the most unnecessary second coat that I've done so far in this video. This really doesn't seem to change the color at all, and the polish was 100% opaque on the first coat. I don't know why I feel like I should be doing 2 coats of these. I don't know. But this was a pretty solid 1 coater on its own. So that is 2 coats of Deviate. So because fall stuff is showing up everywhere, I think TTYL is actually going to be my favorite. I just like ripped some of my hair out and now it's stuck to the bottle. This is like that kind of burnt reddish orange. I don't know, the first time I looked at it I thought it was a red, and then when I swatched it again it looked more orange to me, but this is definitely my favorite. So that is the re-released new China Glaze OMG collection. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will talk to you later. Bye.